Okay, problem number 2 on the final review says suppose p of x equals x to the third minus 2x squared plus 13x plus k. The remainder of the division of p of x by x plus 1 is negative 8. What is the remainder of the division of p of x by x minus 1? So this is a very layered problem, and it's the kind of thing when I first looked at it, I thought, I'm not really sure what's going on here. I don't know. I know how to divide polynomials, but I've never had to divide one where there was not all the terms were known, and I've never had to do this kind of two-step thing. But I at least know how to divide polynomials, so I'm just going to start and see what happens when I start headed in that direction. So the first thing I'm going to do, I know that I need to divide p of x by x plus 1, and I'm trying to get a remainder of negative 8. So I'm going to go ahead and just write out a long division problem. X plus 1 into x to the third minus 2x squared plus 13x plus k. I'm just going to kind of see if moving forward will get me somewhere. So I know I have to see how many times does x go into x to the third? Or a different way to say it is, what can I multiply x by to get x to the third? Well, that's just x squared. X squared times x is x to the third. So I write that sort of puzzle piece up there, and now it's just a matter of distributive property. X squared times x is x to the third. X squared times 1 is positive 1x. And now I subtract down. So x to the third minus x to the third is 0, they cancel. Negative 2x squared minus 1x is negative 3x. Oh, sorry, that was x squared, right? X squared times 1 is 1x squared. So negative 2x squared minus 1x squared is negative 3x squared. And then I just bring these down, plus 13x plus k. And then I start the whole process again. And so far, I already know how to do this. This is just like what we normally do. And bringing the k down isn't any different from bringing a number down. I haven't had to work with it yet. So now x goes into negative 3x squared. Or another way to put it is, what do I need to multiply x by to get negative 3x squared? Well, that's a negative 3x. Negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. So now I found the puzzle piece. I just multiply these, distributive property, and write it down here. So negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. Negative 3x times 1 is negative 3x. Now I subtract down. These two cancel. But 13x minus negative 3x, so you have to be careful, minus negative 3x, that's like an adding. So that ends up being 16x. And here I'm bringing down that k. So again, that k hasn't really been affecting me, even though it's kind of strange. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it at the end. What do I multiply x by to get 16x? I multiply by a 16. So again, distributive property, 16x. 16 times x is 16x. 16 times 1 is positive 16. And here, now the problem is I need to subtract down. And I'm like, k minus 16. But the thing is that this is the place where I'm going to get a remainder, right? 16x minus 16x, they cancel. And k minus 16 is supposed to give me my remainder, right? K minus 16 is supposed to give me my remainder. And they problem told me that my remainder was supposed to be negative 8 when I divided. So I actually know that right here is going to be negative 8. So now I can actually work backwards and try to figure out what k is. And there's a couple ways you can work backwards. You can either just think, what does k have to be so that when I subtract 16, I get negative 8? What does k have to be? But another way to think of it is, you know that you're going to do k minus 16 equals negative 8, right? K minus 16 is going to give you negative 8. So whichever method works best for you. If you like just having a straightforward equation where you can add 16 to both sides, so k has to be positive 8. Or you could have just thought through logically, well, I better put a positive 8 here so that when I subtract 16, I get a negative 8. Either way, now I know what k is. And that's going to make the rest of the problem really easy. So I found k by going through this long process, and I now know that my real polynomial is going to be x to the third minus 2x squared plus 13x plus 8. That k is an 8. Now it says, the real question is, what is the remainder of the division of p of x? And right, this is our p of x. Now, nice and easy. But this time we're dividing by x minus 1 instead. So I just have to do a long division again. So see how that worked out? I just kind of went forward with what I knew, and then when I got down to the part I didn't know, it was kind of easy to figure out. Oh, this has just got to be easy to figure out that missing piece. And now I absolutely know how to do this long division. Okay, so again, we're just going through the process. What do I need to multiply x by to get x to the third? That's x squared. Now distribute. X squared times x is x to the third. X squared times negative 1x is negative 1x squared. Subtract down. These two cancel. Negative 2x squared minus negative 1x. That's like adding. Minusing and subtracting a negative. It's like adding. So we end up with actually negative 1x squared. And then bring down the rest. Plus 13x plus 8. What do I need to multiply x by to get negative 1x squared? I need to multiply by a negative 1x. So now distribute. Negative 1x times x is negative 1x squared. Negative 1x times 1 is positive 1x. Subtract down, those cancel. 13x minus 1x is 12x. Bring down the 8. What do I need to multiply x by to get 12x? I need to multiply by a positive 12. 12 times x is 12x. 12 times negative 1 is negative 12. Subtract down. 12x minus 12x is 0. They cancel. 8 minus negative 12, remember that's like adding. 8 minus negative 12 is a 20. So what's my remainder when I divide x minus 1 into this long polynomial? My remainder is 20. Let's see if that's one of the answers. Sure enough, D.